projected some increases in cafeteria fund revenue based on the charges that they collect from Rivermont, League of Older Americans. Some of this elevate League of Older Americans.
So under the cafeteria fund?
Right. Right.
This is from League of Older American and who?
Yeah, we provide their Meals on Wheels.
Okay, all right.
And
So
they pay
based
us
on
for
that,
that.
gotcha. So you would see a significant increase in the breakfast area, it looks like.
Well, it's basically
Oh,
the
you're
charges
down
for
here.
Meals Rivermont, charges for Meals LOA, it's that.
Right. The difference in the school breakfast piece under the state funds here at the top, what is the reasoning for that? Just,
I don't know. When I pulled the template up
oh,
off the
it's
state.
on the template,
Yeah,
okay.
That's on
All
the
right.
template.
Everything comes
Yeah,
straight from the
comes straight off the governor's budget.
Yeah.
It's just that I have that money now down under the cafeteria fund because the cafeteria fund is a separate
Right,
entity now, so I've broken all that out.
good, okay.
Whereas all those private pay, all that it never showed really in our budget before,
Sure.
but it does now.
I mean, it looks like the federal funds remained exactly the same.
They did.
But the state funds made the adjustment for whatever
And
reason.
Brenda and I are going to talk some more, because I think they possibly could be increased, maybe 2 to 3%, but we're going to talk some more about that. And maybe some of those other ones could as well. I wouldn't think it would be a lot of money, but we could be talking maybe $10,000, all categories considered.
But the cafeteria revenues as a whole, all of that, looking at that, is up about 25.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All
But then
right.
you can see they do have, there's a pretty hefty increase in health insurance because a person took a family plan that didn't have a plan before, so.
Right.
So the
Anytime you
number,
add a family plan, you're
pretty
talking it's a number.
the number, back on cafeteria, Rebecca, the number, the transfer from school operations, this is $127,000. That is basically the addition that we have to contribute to cafeteria to make it.
It's like 119,000 in the current year. That's the amount that we basically subsidize the cafeteria fund.
So again, that would be the deficit, if you want to call it that, for cafeteria.
Correct. That would be, if you just looked at the revenue that the cafeteria fund earned based on federal and state, well, it's pretty much federal reimbursements and, the $10,000 that we get from the state. And then any collections that they may get from, like I say, LOA or Rivermont, or just collections from students or from the summer feeding program.
So do we have a number here reflecting Covington High School paid lunches? Do we have the amount of revenue taken in reflected here anywhere?
That would be in the, that would just be prepayments
I would
charged.
think it would be the prepayment amount
Yeah.
of $6,000, but I couldn't say for sure about that, but I could find out.
Can you tell
But
me?
this is federal money. What I'm saying is what students pay.
That
That is.
I think that is
The other
right down
funds,
here, the
this
charges
one,
for
all the other
prepaid
funds,
down below.
charges for Meals Rivermont, charges for Meals LOA,
That's money.
charges for
Right.
Meals Private Pay, that's all, that's not federal funds.
Okay.
But I do have a question in regards to per student. What type of federal fund are we getting through the food program that we're involved in per student?
The CEP
Because
program.
isn't it extremely small in comparison to the, I think we looked at this last year and it was very, very small per student, wasn't it?
Again, I don't know, I mean, really truly.
We'll have
Can we
need
just
Brenda-
check into
Brenda
that?
to speak to all
Because
this
I
stuff.
think that, I'm just
I mean, Brenda
curious.
just knows the stuff, and
Because I just remember us having that discussion last year, that it was a fairly small amount, which surprised me how small that was per student, I thought, but I might be remembering wrong.
But see, I'm
Remember, Eddie?
missing this on the lunch paid.
Do you
No,
see?
I see numbers, but I don't understand real numbers.
Yeah,
If
it's
we
not
have,
right.
I mean, what do we charge for?
What does a tray lunch cost?
I can't remember, it's two something.
Okay, but let's say it's $2.
I was
and at the
thinking
high
it's
school-
$2.80, $2.85 or
Okay,
something
so
like that.
$3.
Yeah, a
And
little less
at the
than
high
that.
school, let's say we have 100 a day that buy lunches. That's just a number. That's $300 a day.
Yeah, times 180 days.
But
what you should see there.
You've also got free and reduced lunches at Covington High School as well, as long as the ones that don't qualify.
No, I understand, but I'm looking at the
He's
amount of
just taking
revenue
the
that we
amount
would take in,
Yeah.
Think
if it's
would be there.
reflected anywhere. I'm saying if we sell 100 lunches a day,
It's very, very low.
No,
I can tell you that. It's very, our collections are
I
very,
understand, but
very
if,
low.
that's why I'm asking about the math of it. If we have 100 kids to pay $3 a day, that's $300 a day,
Times
which is
108.
$1,500 a week, and if we just do it in months, it's $6,000 a month, not $6,000 a year.
That's right.
So I would wonder about that money coming
Where's
in,
that money?
some minuscule amount, but we're at,
I think it doesn't come in.
I don't think you're getting the kids paying it.
Exactly.
They're not buying the lunches.
Exactly.
Well, then if they're not buying, well, one, they may not be buying lunches, and that's a whole nother issue, a whole nother piece, i.e. that we're not selling it to them. But we settle up at the end of the year any outstanding balances or things that students have, right?
They're not paid.
Right.
They're not paid. Then my question is, then if they're not paid, then do they qualify for the reduced lunch?
If the family fills out the free and reduced lunch application.
But should
And we
we
send out
not
monthly
pursue that?
bills. We
do.
We do. We send out monthly bills. The cafeteria manager figures up the charges, and we send out bills to people who haven't paid their bills. We do that on our
How long do we
own.
let that go on?
We keep sending them until people.
We don't stop kids from
We
eating.
don't. We don't.
We can't.
So I
Okay.
think you
Yeah.
need to have Brenda talk about some information about.
You'd like to be able to collect
That's right.
accounts, just like when people don't pay the property taxes.
That's what I'm saying.
All
I
right,
mean,
you
why
want to be
would
able to collect on it, but then again, you still have that daily accrual of that child needs to eat.
well, the
Well-
scenario is, and that's something that I'm not sure how it's done right now today, but hasn't been done well at the high school in the past for a variety of reasons. From fundraising to school dues to fees. Several years ago, a young lady graduated owing the high school $4,500. And she graduated and was a hero. And she came back and did some work at the school and owed the school $4,500. And I saw a little car, I know that was fact. So,
I think you bring up an excellent point. My question is, too, is if they owe that and they have an invoice that they have to pay, then why are they giving lunch?
Because I
mean-
think it is I don't know if it's the mission of the free and reduced lunch or the lunch school nutrition program in Virginia that every child gets a meal.
I thought we were told we couldn't do that. We had that federal review. Didn't you say you can't do?
What, not feed them? I think we were told we couldn't.
I'm just curious because I
remember that as well.
but because of the other program.
No. I
No.
don't think you
This was
could
before the other
provide
program came
students
along.
lunch.
I'll have to get you all lots of information on that, but we
Yeah,
do try to collect the money.
The big concern, just the big number, I would like to see
When you
how
think
much
that
money
number
we
would
take
be.
in.
Yeah, an actual
revenue.
And I
number,
think you're
yeah.
seeing it. I just think the money's not collected.
We
Then
do.
can you give us a listing? I mean, not necessarily by student, but how many lunches were
numbers
served
don't-
versus how many
That's what
have been unpaid?
We're looking at 20 kids a day paying for lunch, if this
Yeah.
number is real.
Well, you should be able to run them by their student number and see what their account
Yeah.
balance
I mean, you
is.
definitely be able
That's
to
how we
see
run the
that.
letters.
Yeah.
That's how we send the letters to the families. We do run.
And do you have a dollar amount that you state? I know most schools I've worked in say once your account hits this amount,
We have a $25 charge policy.
see, that's a little high.
Yeah.
Most
That's eight-
places
That's
it's
eight
Most is
meals.
like
That's
$10.
eight meals.
Yeah.
That's like 8 meals, if you do $3 a meal.
And I mean,
2
But
weeks.
but let me get clarity. You said there's a maximum of $10 that you can carry, i.e. that if you haven't paid, then what happens?
then letters are sent home and you are strongly encouraged to
Same here,
settle that
same here.
account.
Same here.
Yeah.
But there
What
are,
happens if they don't settle
Okay,
the account?
there were discussions some years ago.
What happens?
At that point, you receive 2 or 3 letters and, I mean, most of the time, we don't have a problem collecting. It's
Right.
done.
But there were discussions, and I'm pretty sure the state got into this, a variety of things, because we looked into the possibility of saying a kid had to pay his bills before graduation.
Yes.
That I
Sure,
thought we had
yeah.
So we
implemented.
still do,
Every
we
school.
still do that every year. I know that there are students that don't, their diplomas are kind of held until they pay their library dues.
Kind of help.
I think they are held.
You
I think they
can't
are.
stop them from graduating.
But you
They
don't,
finished their courses. You can keep them from walking across the
Walking.
stage or anything you want to do, but you can't tell them they can't graduate. We went into, for any monies owed to the school, you can't do that.
We do.
So you have to be careful in threatening them and say that you won't graduate unless you pay your bills, because they will graduate. You may tell them they're not going to walk across
Yeah, just
with
can't
everyone else.
participate in the.
graduation
Right,
ceremony.
but you cannot tell them they can't graduate. You can't do that. We had some discussion on that. I know we did. And the lunch fees were part of it too, long before free lunches were part, or
Yeah.
the program
I
was a
mean,
part of it.
basically,
And-
before graduation, you had to settle all of your accounts.
Definitely.
Or, like you said, didn't get to walk in graduation ceremonies.
But that was
participate
never,
in
yeah,
those.
that wasn't enforced for most of the time that I recall.
Needs
It
to
had
be.
been, it